The subject of today's Dhamma talk is Dhatu Manasikara, meaning classification and division of elements. Elements are the ultimate constituents of an individual or as a whole. When Lord Buddha expounded the Mahasatipatthana Sutta, he divided this type of meditation into 4 divisions, namely to take object as kaya, that is physical body, vedana, feeling or sensations, citta, the mind, and dhamma, the mental objects. Again, Buddha divided this kaya nupassana, or the bodily or physical section, into 14 subdivisions, such as 1. Anapanabhava, that means mindfulness on in and out breathing. 2. Iddhiyapattabhava, the contemplation on 4 bodily postures or deportment. 3. Sambhajanyabhava, clarity or comprehension. 4. Patimula Manasikara Bhava, the loathsomeness contemplation of the body. 5. And Dhatu Manasikara Bhava, the contemplation on 4 great elements. And number 6 to 14 is Navasivatika Bhava, dead body contemplation. So in this Kaya Nupassana Satipatthana alone, there are 14 divisions, 14 types of meditation objects. To repeat again, Anapanabhava, mindfulness on in and out breathing. 2. Iddhiyapattabhava, contemplation on 4 bodily postures. 3. Sambhajanyabhava, clarity of consciousness. 4. Dhatu Patikula Manasikara Bhava, contemplation on loathsomeness of body parts. And 5. Dhatu Manasikara Bhava, the contemplation of the 4 great elements that constitute the body. So these alone is 5 divisions. And the rest 6 to 14 is Navasivatika Bhava, meaning 9 dead body contemplations, that is 9 stages of decomposition of a dead body. So total 14 divisions. Out of these 14 subdivisions, the subject of today's Dhamma talk is classification and division of the elements. That is the number 5 subdivision. By expounding this 5th subdivision, I hope to achieve the advantage that our meditators here will have less clinging on atta deity, that is ego belief, sakkaya deity, personality belief, and see with clarity all the physical and mental phenomena of existence. Lord Buddha preached, O sons and daughters, all our meditators of Buddha sadhana or Buddha's teaching should contemplate this physical body by dividing into elements. The way to contemplate is this physical body is composed of earth or Patavi Dhatu, earth element, Apo Dhatu, water element, fire, wind, Tejo Dhatu, fire element, and Vayo Dhatu, wind elements. If meditators contemplate this way, one comes to know this physical body after all is not mine, not my body, not my possession, but only a group of these mentioned elements. When meditator analyzes this physical body, one may realize what we call rupakhana, the corporeality or the physical body, as comprising of 4 great elements. Patavi Dhatu, the solidity or earth element, 20 parts. Apo Dhatu, the liquidity or water element, 12 parts. Tejo Dhatu, heat or fire element. And 4 Vayo Dhatu, element of motion or wind element. Total 42 elements. The earth element or Patavi Dhatu that constitute 20 parts of the body are 1. Head hair, 2. Body hair, 3. Nails, 4. Teeth, 5. Skin, 6. Flesh, 7. Sinews, 8. Bones, 9. Marrow, 10. Kidneys, 11. Heart, 12. Liver, 13. Pancreas, 14. Spleen, 15. Lungs, 16. Stomach, 17. Intestines, 18. Gorge, 19. Feces, and 20. Brain. The above 20 items, starting from head hair to brain, is what we call Patavi Dhatu, or the solidity or earth element. The characteristic of earth element is hardness, softness, roughness, smoothness, heaviness, lightness, etc. Yes, if you touch the bones, it is hard. If you touch head hair, it is rough. And if you touch the flesh, it is soft and smooth. These are different characteristics. When one takes steps to walk by lifting legs, sometimes it is heavy and sometimes light. These are Patavi Dhatu. So when meditator experiences heaviness and lifting the foot, one should note as heavy, heavy. Some meditator experiences heaviness in the head while he is engaged in sitting meditation. Then he must note heavy, heavy. By noting this, one is noting Patavi Dhatu, the solidity or earth element. When meditators note roughness and hardness in one's buttock, touching the floor and sitting, it is the solidity or earth element Patavi Dhatu. In walking meditation, meditator sometimes experiences smoothness or softness when one drops the foot on the ground or the floor. Then meditator is supposed to be noting the Patavi Dhatu, the solidity or earth element. Sometimes meditator on taking steps is heavy, sometimes light, and at other times one may feel the whole body is as if floating. If meditator notes these characteristics as it occurs, it is noting the Patavi Dhatu or the earth element. Though one may not spell as Patavi, one has contemplated these 4 elements, that is solidity or earth element. Patavi element has total 20 items. The hardness or softness, the roughness and smoothness, the heaviness or lightness are defined in that way in the conventional definition, Panyati name. But they are the same in the analysis of element. Let us analyze the word hardness. If you compare iron and brick, you may say iron is hard and the brick is soft. When you compare brick and an earth block, you will define brick as hard and earth as soft. The status of brick. When compared to iron, it is soft, and when compared to earth, it is hard. Therefore, in the analysis of element, hardness and softness can be regarded as the same. This is called in Pali as Upanita Panyati. Again, if earth is to be compared to mud, earth becomes hard and mud is soft. Earth, when compared with brick, is soft, but when compared to mud, it is hard. Therefore, we can say hardness and softness is the same in the classification of element. Heaviness and lightness is also the same. In comparison, it is different between a 10 kilo measurement and 5 kilo and 1 kilo. 5 kilo is heavier and 1 kilo lighter. The same with half kilo measurement and quarter measurement. If compared to 1 kilo, half kilo is lighter and 1 kilo is heavier. These are conventional definitions. Upanita Panyati just names they are unreal. Therefore, heaviness and lightness are the same in the classification of element. So when our meditators contemplate hardness or softness, heaviness or lightness, roughness or smoothness, it can be called meditators are noting Patavi Dhatu or earth element. As mentioned above, the earth element has 20 groups in one's own body, starting from head, hair to brain. Next comes Apo Dhatu. The character of Apo is fluidity and cohesion. It is water element. In one's own body, there are 12 groups of Apo Dhatu. They are 1. Fire, 2. Flame, 3. Pus, 4. Blood, 5. Sweat, 6. Solid fat, 7. Tears, 8. Liquid fat, 9. Saliva, 10. Mucus, 11. synovial fluid, and 12. Urine. When meditator note tears or saliva or blood or sweat or urine, one is noting Apo Dhatu or water element. The characteristic of Apo Dhatu is fluidity and cohesion. Dry parts are joined together by water element, which is cohesion. When one wants to bake bread or chapati, that is Indian food, one has to mix the flour or the wheat powder with water to have cohesive effect. Then only it can be baked into bread or chapati. Water is the main vehicle of binding the flour. Therefore, if meditator contemplates the fluidity, cohesion, and the flowing movement, it is noting water element or Apo Dhatu in one's own body, like noting of tears, sweating, urinating are all inclusive in contemplation on Apo Dhatu or water element. Apo Dhatu or water element is 12 in number, and Patavi or earth element is 20, and we have a total of 32 groups by adding these two elements. The details of 32 kothasat or body parts are: 1. Head hair, 2. Body hair, 3. Nails, 4. Teeth, 5. Skin, 6. Flesh, 7. Sinews, 8. Bones, 9. Marrow, 10. Kidneys, 11. Heart, 12. Liver, 13. Pancreas, 14. Spleen, 15. Lungs, 16. Stomach, 17. Intestines, 18. Gorge, 19. Feces, 20. Brain, 21. Bile, 22. Foam, 23. Pus, 24. Blood, 25 sweat, 26 solid fat, 27 tears, 28 liquid fat, 29 saliva, 30 mucus, and 31 synovial fluid, and 32 urine. Since one's body consists of 4 great elements, if one add 2 more elements, there will be 42 groups or kotasas. The next element in our body is the Tejo Dhatu or heat element. There are 4 kinds of Tejo Dhatu or heat element we can identify in our body. One is Santapana Tejo, meaning a normal body temperature. It is 98.4 degrees Fahrenheit or 36.9 degrees centigrade. This is normal body temperature when we are in good health. The number 2 is, in Pali we call Jirana Tejo. It is the aging process of heat that matures a person into old age. When mangoes cannot ripe readily, we have to give heat to ripen the mangoes. So also this Jirana Tejo give heat to persons to become mature and grow into old age. The third type of heat element we can identify is Daha Tejo, and Pali Daha Tejo means excessive body heat or very severe form of heat, arising heat, like hypothermia or heat stroke. The number 4 is Pachaka Tejo in Pali. It is the heat that helps to digest our food, the heat in our stomach. If a meditator knows the heat or the cold in one's body, like hot or cool, the contemplation of Tejo or the fire or heat element is accomplished. Then the last element, or the 4th one, is Vayo Dhatu, that is element of motion or wind element. There are 6 kinds of wind elements we can identify in our body. 1, in Pali we call Audangama Vayo, meaning the wind that moves upwards, like when we yawn, or when we are hiccuping, or when we are belching, or coughing, or sneezing. All these are examples of Audangama Vayo, the wind that comes up out of the upper part of the body. The number 2 is Adogama Vayo, meaning the wind that moves downwards, like when we defecate or urinate, the wind that forces down our excrements or urine, or when we are passing wind through the anus. That is the example of the wind that passes downwards. So upward wind, downward wind in our body. The number 3 type is Kauseta Vayo. That is the wind that play havoc in our abdominal cavity. Sometimes we can hear our own or other people's wind, like making noises, etc. The number 4 is Kota Sayādaw. That is the wind inside the internal organs that causes the movement of intestine and stomachs and pushing or putting down the pressure, the food and the contents of intestine. Number 5 is Enganusari Vayo, meaning the wind that plays an important part in our movement of the limbs, like legs, hands, or opening and closing of the eyes when we are winking or smiling, and mouth, and so forth. The number 6 is Asasa Pasasa Vayo, meaning in-breathing and out-breathing. we are all the time breathing, and when we breathe in and breathe out, that is called asasa vayo, in-breath, out-breath. How to contemplate the vayo dhatu? Supporting of the body to stay straight is vayo dhatu. So when one is noting standing, it is noting vayo dhatu or wind element. And sitting meditation, rising and falling of the abdomen is wind element. Or when one is noting sitting, touching. Sitting of the body is vayo. So also rising, falling of the abdomen is vayo dhatu or wind element. When sitting, the stiffness occurs at the backside or spine. It is vayo or wind element. And walking, stepping forward is also vayo dhatu or wind element. Pushing towards inclined direction is also vayo dhatu. When meditator notes all these movements of the limbs, legs, hands and so forth, they are all vayo dhatu, wind or element of motion. The grand total is 42 items or kotasas, that is body parts. The detailed counting will be Patavi dhatu or earth element is 20. Apo dhatu or water element is 12. Tejo dhatu or heat element is 4. And vayo dhatu or wind element is 6, making the total 42. Buddha Father explained, if the butcher or his assistant killed a bull and placed it at the crossroad, everybody regarded this as a carcass of a bull. But when the butcher decided the meat into small bundles weighing 1 kilo each, the people will see these meat as beef. So also, the khanda or aggregates of one's own body is regarded as my body, my possession and so forth. But when it is divided into 4 different elements of Patavi or earth element, Apo or water element, Tejo or heat element, and Vayo or wind element, there is no such thing as self, ego, atta or personality to be attached to the group of 42 items or kotasas. By such realization, one cannot and will not cling to ego entity, ego belief, and one's sakadeti is entirely abandoned. And such kind of a meditator will strive towards the attainment of mega jnana, path knowledge, and phala jnana, fruition knowledge, and thus realize nibbana. Therefore, our meditators should contemplate on Patavi dhatu, the solidity or earth element, Apo dhatu, the liquidity or water element, Tejo dhatu, heat or fire element, and Vayo dhatu, motion or wind element. The 4 great elements which form into a group of aggregates called Rupa Khanda, this physical body. By contemplating thus, meditators realize that human bodies are after all groups of 4 great elements, but no such